So, as we all know, being ace can be a little weird sometimes. If you don't experience sexual attraction or experience it in a non-normative way, you know that you can tend to bump up against the world in ways that feel a little weird and uncomfortable sometimes. But for me, the weirdest part of being ace and the ongoing weirdest experience is fielding very strange questions from allos. I mean, allos have a lot of strange curiosities about what being ace is like and what we do with ourselves and other people. I mean, the most awkward situations I have ever had around my aceness generally revolve around a well-meaning allo person who just has the weirdest question ever. I was thinking about this because I was poking around on Reddit and found an old thread in the Asexuals subreddit that was all about weird things people have said or weird questions people have asked ace folks about being ace. And I wanted to share a couple of them and just talk about them because like I've been in those shoes and they're weird, and like let's just talk about the weirdness a little bit. Yeah. Okay, let's get weird. This is probably my new favorite theory on what asexuality is and why it exists. Asexual people just have never seen an attractive person ever. I mean, come on, man. Really? I love the idea that if an allo could just find the one attractive person in the world for me, that I would see them and all of a sudden my allosexuality would just become unlocked. So I identify as asexual. I don't really experience sexual attraction ever. And like this is just really funny to me. Like I'm 47 years old, almost 48. And just the idea that I'm asexual only because in all of my ramblings and wanderings and travelings and going here to and therefore, I've just like never seen a hot person. It's so great. I really love the way people's brains short circuit when you tell them that you don't experience sexual attraction. Warning. The idea that human beings experience sexual attraction as an absolutely natural and absolutely essential form of being a human, that idea is just so pervasive that the mere existence of someone who says, hey, you know, that's not a thing that happens to me, immediately leads people to create the wild conspiracy theories around why that is so, instead of just like accepting that it's so. But also, friend, no, I've never seen a sexually attractive person. That's kind of the point. I always get a real kick out of the idea that because we are asexual people, that means that we want no connection of any kind, physical, emotional, anything like ever. Like ace just means no thank you. And like, yeah, I mean, it does mean kind of no thank you for a lot of people. But it's such a weird idea to me that not experiencing sexual attraction would mean that you don't want to engage with another human being in any kind of way. Like, please don't perceive me. Like, it's so weird. Like, yeah, you can hug me even though I'm ace. Yeah, we can go on a date even though I'm ace. Yeah, we can hang out. Yeah, I can like you as a person. Yeah, I can feel some feels for you. Yeah, I can want to like cuddle with you on the couch because I'm ace. Asexuality doesn't mean that I want to become like the boy in the bubble. I always think this is like an interesting demonstration of the way that culturally and societally we've intertwined sex and love, sex and romance. Like we've taken those two ideas and made them intricately connected. They are infinitely connected. And so societally we believe like you can't have one without the other. So if as an asexual person I take the sex part out of the sex love continuum, it also then means that I take everything else off the table too. And as we all know, that is not the case at all. But I often want to like ask people who bring up things like this, like what are your friendships like? What are your family relationships like? What are you doing? Because it's just very funny for me that they can't conceive of human connection without sex, but I'm sure their lives are filled with people that they are not having sex with. I hope that you have people in your life, misguided aloe asking weird questions, that you are not having sex with, like your family. I hope you're not having sex with your family. That'd be weirder than that question. You have relationships with different people in your life that take all sorts of shapes and forms. Asexual people do the exact same thing. I need to know who your mother is because I need to know who raised you. So first, just petition for all aloe people to stop asking asexual people exceedingly and uncomfortably personal questions that they would not ask other strangers. The aloe preoccupation with wanting to know the sexual details of the lives of asexuals is very strange to me. It's weird. Why are you so concerned? First of all, it's none of your business if an asexual person has had sex or not. It is none of your business whether that asexual person who may have had sex has had sex with just a couple people once, 100 times, 1,000 times. Like none of that is your business. So very kindly, please stop asking us about the mechanics of our sex lives. But I think the assumptions being made here are rather hilarious. So first, just the idea that having a bad sexual experience or like a not great sexual experience would turn someone asexual or make them asexual is very hilarious to me, because I want to be like, friend, are you telling me that you have had nothing but like great sex? I have been on this earth for a long enough number of years to know that that is highly unlikely. So I would like ask you, aloe, asking weird questions to asexuals. If you've had bad sex, did that turn you ace? Did you become asexual because you had the bad sex? Clearly and exhaustingly, no. But I also think it's funny, like the assumption that all it would take to change someone's sexual orientation is just to have like that one good experience. It's similar to the like, have you ever seen an attractive person? Like, no, friend, it's not just like one experience that's gonna like flip a switch and then bam, a lifetime of aceness is going to vanish. That like, it's not how any of that works. It's not how that works for you. It's not how that works for me. I am always surprised and sometimes horrified by the way that aloe folks just assume that the existence of an asexual person means an entirely different set of like mechanics and rules for that universe that's different from the aloe one. Like, no, the way you relate to your sexual orientation and the way it operates in you is very similar to the way it operates in me. We just have, shock, different sexual orientations. So no, Bradley, Melissa, Karen, Devin, Roberta, my asexuality is not because I had lousy sexual encounters. My being asexual had nothing to do with that. Well, the first mistake that you make is assuming that all asexual people haven't tried it. I know that for a number of asexual people, they have gone through the phase where they have tried it and just decided they weren't into it. And I also know that there are a lot of asexual folks out there who tried it and, in fact, do very much like it. Sex favorable ace folks exist and are out there living the dream. This assumption, of course, stems from the misunderstanding of asexuality. A lot of people who don't know ace folks or know anything about aceness just assume that asexual equals no sex. And that is not true. Asexuality is about our experience of sexual orientation, and that does not necessarily equate to a specific relationship to sex itself. That is a wide spectrum. Some people have never ever had sex and never will, and like they are also living the dream. But there are people who do, and people have tried it and decided they don't want it. Like all kinds of different relationships. Don't make the assumption that ace just means never have done it, never will do it, never think about it, never care about it. Although ace can, in fact, absolutely mean that. The other weird part of that assumption for me and that kind of question is always like, why you don't think like a person can know that they wouldn't like a thing without doing it? I have never jumped out of an airplane. Not my jam. I would not like that. There are plenty of things in the world that I have never tried, but I still know they are not for me. And particularly around notions of sex, I think every person, regardless of your sexual orientation, ace or allo, you know that you are compelled or you feel drawn to sexual encounters with a specific kind of person. That is what sexual orientation is. And like, you know what you don't want to do as an allo person. Ace folks are the same way. We know what we don't want to do without having tried it. I think out of all the questions, this one feels really infantilizing. It feels like not only is this coming from a misunderstanding of aceness, but it also kind of reinforces this idea that ace people don't understand themselves well, or that we're immature, or that we're unformed. And it's just like this one's like a deeply offensive one to me. Ace folks are aware of what they want, aware of what they don't want, and we don't need to like try something to figure it out. We know ourselves. When you are approaching an ace person, approach with an understanding that as an ace person, they know themselves and they've done the thinking and they've done the figuring out and they've arrived at asexuality for a reason. Don't just assume that you know better and can offer such like a lame solution like, well, why don't you just try it? I don't really think that allos talk like they're from old-timey movies, but it's kind of, I do like it. If you've experienced these weird questions, like, let me know in the comments how you've responded to them or how you feel about them. What is your favorite weird question that an allo has asked you about asexuality? Like, share them. Let's have conversations in the comment about all the weird things that people say to us. I know there are a lot out there. As always, thank you for supporting the channel, and I will see you in the next video.